was on 3rd May 2023 that the first incident of violence was reported.
सरकारी आंकड़ों के मुताबिक प्रदेश में 250 से ज्यादा चर्च और करीब 2000 कुकी घर निशाना बने।
ये सिविल वॉर भी है और गवर्नमेंट के साथ भी है, ये क्लियरली बोलता हूँ।
हफ्तों तक चली वायलेंस है, इसमें घर बर्बाद हो गए हैं, लोग बाग उजड़ गए हैं, गांव के गांव तबाह हो गए हैं।
There is no change in the situation in the
violence in the hills because someone has come to attack villages in the hills.
दोनों का जो डैमेज हुआ है ये सब के लिए, हम सब के लिए दुख की बात है।
On the 4th of May, a video went viral of two women being paraded naked on the streets of Manipur by a mob of more than thousands of people. Isn't it shameful? Then a woman was picked up from a workplace, and when she went for refuge to a police vehicle, she was taken out from there, raped and murdered by a mob of unruly men. Though those 5 people who committed that ghastly sin have been arrested. But is that enough? Then those 2 women, one of the husband of the lady is an esteemed soldier of our Indian army, and he says that I have fought for the nation and I could not save the honor of my wife. Then what is the importance or value of my service to this nation? Then there are clashes between the Assam Rifle and the police. Thoughts of getting the Assam Rifle disbanded. A no confidence motion debate taking place in the parliament over 2 days, with mudslinging going on between the parties. But is it solving the problem what is happening in Manipur? It has been now more than 3 months that this problem is on, and our Prime Minister has not opened his lips. After 79 days, he makes a statement in the offing with Manipur's name into it about the rape of the woman.
घटना चाहे राजस्थान की हो, घटना चाहे छत्तीसगढ़ की हो, घटना चाहे मणिपुर की हो, इस देश में हिंदुस्तान के किसी भी कोने में, किसी भी की राज्य सरकार ने राजनीतिक वाद विवाद से ऊपर उठ करके कानून व्यवस्था का महात्मा है, नारी का सम्मान, और मैं देशवासियों को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, किसी भी गुनहगार को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानून अपनी पूरी शक्ति से, पूरी सख्ती से एक के बाद एक कदम उठाएगा। मणिपुर की इन बेटियों के साथ जो हुआ है, इसको कभी माफ नहीं किया जा सकता।
So what is exactly the problem? Why is it there? The Home Minister visited the state. The opposition members of the Gadbandhan, called the India, INDIA, have also visited, listened to the grievances. But what is the result? Is a big zero. Then there have been more than 50,000 people who have been displaced from their own state, and hundreds killed. Refugees from across the border, that is Myanmar, have crossed over the Rohingyas. So what does this mean? Why are the people of Manipur being made to suffer with no solution in sight? So my question is, who is responsible? The state government, the central government, you, me, the media, the judiciary? Who? And why has the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh not resigned in spite of such low levels of law and order? The police and the security forces being inactive or not being allowed to take action. So let us go back into a little history to see the genesis of the problem. So Manipur, in the pre-independence era, were governed by many princely states, Each tribe was like a kingdom. There were many tribes and sub-tribes who were ruling. And the Britishers, when they came, as their policy is of divide and rule, kept the eastern states away from their regime or their empire, because this area was totally forested and also hilly. Therefore, it was quite unreachable. That is why they kept them away and ruled that area through the kings and the heads of the tribes. So it was a win-win situation for both the Britishers, because they were getting their due, and the kings or the heads of the tribes were also benefiting from the equation. But then post-independence, this carried on for some time, and on the 21st of September 49, Manipur was merged with the Republic of India, and this equation of princely states carried on, and in 51. But during this time, there were infightings between these tribes and small little kingdoms. So the government decided to get all these states together and gave it statehood in 1972. But these infightings carried on. So in 1980, this was declared as the disturbed area, and the Disturbed Area Act was evoked. And then came the so-called draconian rule of the Armed Forces Special Power Act, or the AFSPA. This was there from the 1980 to 2004, and after lot of revolts and representations from 2004 onwards, the AFSPA was slowly removed from various places as and when they became under control or supposed to be called undisturbed. Till last year in 2022, when the complete state was taken off from the list of the Armed Forces Special Power Act. So today, the AFSPA is not being implemented in the state anywhere. Then coming on to the state per se, the state has got two major communities. One staying in the valley, who are the Meiteis, and the other staying in the hills, who are the Kukis, Zomis, the Nagas, and then there are other small little tribes. So these Kukis and Zomis and Nagas are again divided into sub-tribes who are headed by the tribal heads. Now here comes the root of the problem. There is an internal divide between these people, because the Meiteis, who are basically Hindus with some sprinkling of Christians, and also about 16% are following the religion of Sanamahism, while the Kukis, Zumis and the Nagas are basically Christians, some following Judaism, Islam, and also a religion called animism, where they pray to the nature, to their ancestors, to the trees, the forests. So in the state, these two communities are up in arm against each other because of reasons which are political, religious, and also economic. But here there is a silver lining to the cloud. These tribals, when they are recruited or commissioned into the armed forces, they fight as one nation. There is no difference between them when they are serving for the nation, and they have fought in all the wars starting from 48 till the latest in Kargil, where one Naga and two Naga regiments have done extremely well for themselves in evicting out those Pakistanis. So coming back onto our topic, Manipur is basically having 10% of valley or plain land where the Meiteis are settled, and the balance of the hills comprise of 90%. So these Meiteis are basically about 53%. These Nagas, Kukis and Zumi tribes comprise of just about 40% being in minority. The Meiteis settled around Imphal in the valley of Manipur have got access to better education, infrastructure, medical facilities and everything that can be there for advancement of a community. While the people in the hills do not have free access to all these infrastructural things. So they are quite backward. Now, the basic bone of contention is for the Meiteis, they cannot go and buy land in the hills. And the problem for the Kukis or the Nagas are that they have no access to the infrastructure. Then the Meiteis come under the list of OBCs, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So they have reservations for all the government jobs in medical, education and other fields. While the Meiteis are only OBCs and scheduled castes and do not come under the scheduled tribe list, so they do not have reservations. Here the Kukis and the Nagas have a say that they are already advanced. So why should they get the reservation? While the Meiteis say that they want the scheduled tribe identity so that they can flourish culturally and also grow economically. Then is the political divide. The majority of the seats are with the valley, that is the Meiteis, while the hills, who are in minority, have got much lesser seats. So this again is one point of conflict. And about the land, the Meiteis say that they cannot buy land in the hills, and also the 10% of the valley is shrinking away because there are other people buying land here, because land can be freely bought here by anybody. So now, when you look into the problem, there are basically three reasons why this flare-up has happened. First is the High Court order, in which it was passed that the Meiteis may be considered for being enlisted into the scheduled tribes, which was not liked by the hill people or the Kukis on the Zomo. And then is the eviction of the illegal encroachments in the hills, which was done by the state government and was completely made encroachment free. This was basically done to take out the people who have come from across the border, the drug traders and other illegal poachers. This was an agenda since long and has been done completely, which have antagonized the hill people who were thriving from these illegal activities. And finally, one of the main reasons for this problem to have gone beyond control is the clamp down on the drug trade. So here, why were these refugees coming in? And why were these people going across? Because poppy is one of the major cash crops which is being grown in Manipur. And our friends across the border in Myanmar, which is supposedly to be one of the failed states of Asia, where there is no stable government, no law and order, and it is part of the golden triangle of drug comprising of Myanmar, Vietnam and Cambodia, with Manipur at the top corner. And slowly Manipur, from being a conduit, was becoming a major producer of poppy, which is used predominantly in drugs. So there has been a stop to the illegal flow of people and the items for the drugs. So now with the crisis, the people of Manipur are suffering. Our own people are suffering, and their right to education is being stopped because schools are closed for last 3 months. Internet shutdown is there so that there can be no transfer of videos and other items which will cause the problem to get more aggravated. Then due to curfews being clamped in all the areas, the right to movement of people has also been curbed. So here we see that the problem is basically political, economical also, because there is a sharp divide between the Maithis and the Kukis in terms of economy. Political because the seats are not divided in proper ratio. And religion because now, as we have seen, the temples and churches have got vandalized because the Maithis are predominantly Hindus and the Kukis and the Nagas are in majority for the Christians. So a religious angle has also been taken into the picture. So now, after having seen these 3 major problems, I can suggest basic remedies is that the government should look into how the Maithis can be taken into the scheduled caste tribe list or not, and the communications of High Court or the judiciary should be transmitted in the correct perspective. And then if the poppy cultivation has to be totally stopped, then fresh cash crop should be inducted into Manipur. That can be rice also because of the terrain, and the people economically sustained so that they can grow this as a substitute. And involvement of the center is very important in this case. We must reach out to the people of the Northeast and not just to lip service about look east policies. And then Manipur and also the Northeast states should have a council where they can have their problems which can be told to the center and sorted out in the correct manner. And finally, at this stage, President's rule is not a solution, because since 51, President's rule has been clamped onto Manipur 10 times. Presently also you can impose President's rule, but then that will only be short-termed. So we all have to look into our hearts, the center and the state, to work in tandem to sort out this problem where our own people, our brothers and sisters are suffering. So please give your comments in the comment box below, and also if you have liked this small video, like it, share it and subscribe it, and also listen to our other videos which will enlighten you on matters which concern our country. Jai Hind.